Northwestern has won the Big Ten championship as they defeat the Purdue Boilermakers 23-8 to record 10 victories for the first time in the school's history.
It feels absolutely great, absolutely great. But we really want a bowl ring now, too, to add on to our ring, so it's exciting.
Well, we are on top of Chicago, and that's only fitting because the Northwestern Wildcats are on top of the Big Ten and, in fact, pretty close to the top of college football. Welcome, everybody, to the Gary Barnett Show. I'm Dave Eanet, along with the head coach of the fourth-ranked Northwestern Wildcats, who assured themselves a Big Ten championship with Saturday's 23-8 win over the Purdue Boilermakers. So here we are, Gary, at the top of the John Hancock Center on the 94th floor, and here sit the Wildcats on top of the Big Ten. This had to be an unbelievable feeling for you Saturday.
It was terrific, and we had such a great crowd down there. Our kids, when the game was over, tried to go over and go up into the stands where our crowd was, but the crowd emptied so fast that it just became a big meeting out in the middle of the field. But you know, our kids were really fired up for that game, and we knew what we had to do, and you know, our defense came out and did it right away, and it ended up being a terrific game in many ways. But I think what was really fitting about it, Dave, was that was the place that we had our first Big Ten win as a staff and with these kids, and to be able to wrap up a Big Ten championship down there as well, it just seemed like we went full cycle.
Well, you had the Big Ten trophy there with you. You brought that back to Evanston on Saturday night, and you got a very warm reception from a big crowd when the buses pulled up to Dykes.
We had a great crowd. We had everybody in Evanston there, and they had to make a tunnel for us to get to the locker room. It was so packed. The band was there, and I slept with that trophy Saturday night. I want you to know.
Well, I know you're going to be sitting back now waiting to see what happens with Michigan and Ohio State. We'll talk about that game. We'll review the highlights of the Wildcats' victory over the Boilermakers coming up on the Gary Barnett Show.
Always sharp. Once he's got eight cutting across the middle. He's to the 50, the 45, 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Wayne Banks.
Well, the Wildcats went into West Lafayette to play the Purdue Boilermakers. And, Gary, you got something of a message from your seniors in the week leading up to the game.
We had breakfast on Thursday morning, and I always asked the seniors what I could do at this point, what they felt like I needed to do to maybe do something extra to get that team ready. And they said, just get us to the game on time. So I knew right then that we had a chance to play. I knew we were going to play hard. And it meant so much to these guys. They've, you know, once we put ourselves in a position to be in a bowl, we sort of had to re-gear our goals a little bit, and we sort of focused on November. And we had, as you know, had a theme that before the Penn State game, the champions were crowned in November. And so at that point, we realized that if we ran the table and Ohio State ran the table, we wouldn't necessarily be able to go to the Rose Bowl. But we could win a Big Ten championship. So we re-geared that goal up to winning a Big Ten championship, and Purdue represented the third step.
So you did your part, your players did theirs. Let's take a look. The Wildcats take the field at Ross-Age Stadium in West Lafayette for their Big Ten season finale against the Boilermakers. And here's Purdue on offense with Mike Allstott early on.
He's a tough runner, Dave, and our defensive back did a good job all night tackling him, but he really is a load.
Now you put some pressure on Rick Trevsker, and Chris Martin comes up with the interception.
Just a great play, great block by Casey Daly and Dave Ishmaeli here, and then Chris is going to stiff arm number 24, Olivedati here, and get in the end zone. A big play for us at that time.
76 yards on the touchdown, and now on offense, first third down completion of the day, and the first catch by Dwayne Baker.
Nice job by Schnurr, because Dwayne was his third receiver in that progression, and we got back to him and did a good job. And then you're going to see us open a big hole for Darnell here. And Darnell takes it down to about the 5-yard line and on a nice run, and we got ourselves in scoring position again.
Now it's a third and goal at the 3 following that 25-yard gain by Darnell. And we'll see Steve Schnurr.
Well, they cover Matt Hartle, our intended receiver, and Steve scrambles down to the 1. And fourth down here, I decided to go for a fake field goal. I thought that the worst thing we could do, the worst thing that could happen to us, they'd have to go 99 yards. And we didn't do a good job executing it. And, unfortunately, I wish that I had that play over again. I'd have kicked a field goal.
Early in the second quarter now, Purdue on offense, and your defense steps up with Eric Collier and Tim Sharp.
Nice play by Eric and Tim. Eric really played well in this game, as did our entire secondary.
Now the Wildcats on offense here, and it was tough sledding for a while there midway through the second quarter for both teams. Purdue on offense now, and some pressure on Trevsker.
Well, this is a great rush by Ishmaeli, and Chris almost gets another interception. But we come back with this big play as soon as we get the ball back, and this is the biggest play of the year to Wayne, and he gets in the secondary, and we've been waiting for this to happen, and he just ran by everybody, and you see that excessive celebration there. But it was a big play for us at that point in the game.
72 yards, and the Wildcats with a 14-0 lead late in the half. Now Purdue comes back with a big pass play.
Well, they catch us in cover 2 and fake Danny Sutter up and do a nice job of moving the ball here. And it looks like they're going to get themselves in scoring position here at the end of the first half. But with this draw play especially, Allstott breaks out, but Rodney makes a nice tackle. We're going to come back with some pressure here, and you're going to see right there Collier and Ray Roby put heat on him, and we get 2 sacks in a row and really takes him completely out of scoring position.
Here's the second one now. Daly and Collier teaming up on this one. And so the Wildcats will head for the locker room at halftime, having thwarted that Purdue drive and leading it 14-0. So Gary, back-to-back sacks to kill that Purdue scoring drive. Halftime 14-0, and you'd gotten a big play from your offense and a few big plays from your defense.
Well, that pressure that we put on them right there in the first half kept them out of from scoring. And we went in the locker room with a lot of confidence. We should have been 17-0. I should have kicked that field goal down there. We'd put in a fake that week, and I knew I should have held off. I should have kicked it, and I have a regret about that. But we did put them on the 1-yard line, and they would have had to go 99 yards, and so it wasn't that much of a chance. It was just a little risky.
Well, there are some good things to come for the Wildcats in the second half, and we'll take a look at those highlights after this.
And back to throw it is Trevsker on first down. He's got some time. Guns it. Intercepted. Danny Sutter makes a diving interception at the 45-yard line. Danny Sutter's second career interception. Third turnover by Purdue today.
I did my part as well as all the team, and that's what it really was. It was a concerted team effort. You know, everyone stepped up and did what they had to do to bring home a victory. We had the big plays when we needed them, and we just brought it home.
Welcome back to the Gary Barnett Show. 14-0 in favor of the Wildcats at halftime, and Gary, things seem to be going your way.
14-0 lead's nice to have at halftime. We told the kids that we were 30 minutes away from winning a Big Ten championship, and we have a term that we use. We had them where we want them now. We were just going to squeeze them, and that's what we felt like we had to do. We had to squeeze them in the second half, and then we're going to win the game. You didn't have to say much to our kids at that time. They were ready to go.
Well, let's take a look at the second half highlights. The Boilermakers against the Wildcats. Pat Fitzgerald watching on the sidelines as the Wildcats lead the Boilermakers 14-0. Early stages of the third quarter now. Purdue in punt formation. Your special teams come up big again.
This is Chris Martin blocking that. And then right here, I would rule that a fumble recovery by Kevin Buck, but the officials call it a safety. Must have called it in grasp, I assume. So that gives us 2 more points. Then we come right back. We get the ball back after the safety. You see Darnell's going to take this thing down to the... This is pretty close, too. You know, they give it to us on about the one foot line, but that's pretty close right there.
Steve Schnurr, though, will make it academic on the very next play. 60 yards on that run by Darnell Autry, and here Schnurr will sneak for the touchdown.
Actually, Darnell's looked like it was more across than Steve's did, but we walk away with the 6 points regardless.
And so now it's a 23-0 game, and we'll look at the quarterback, Trevsker, on the option to the right and a near turnover.
Well, they were checking the option versus our blitz, which is a good call, but they didn't execute it very well there, and Keith Lazowski almost picked that thing up. Here you're going to see Brian Musso on a really nice punt return, and he's making some guys miss, and Brian's one of the best that there is out there in space, and then they throw on a face mask penalty after that.
20 yards on that return by Brian Musso. Had returned 160 yards the week before. Now, here's a rare interception thrown by Schnurr.
Steve gets hit on this ball, and this isn't Steve's fault. We just have to protect him a little longer, and then we're going to come back and we almost sack the quarterback. He makes a great play to get this ball out here to Allstat. It's still going to be about 15 yards short of the first down, however.
7-yard loss on that play. Late third quarter, Wildcats back on offense, and Schnurr will find Bates again.
One of the 6 catches, and we had the dig route open with Dwayne all day, and we were able to get him the ball in the big play.
Now here's a turnover by the Boilermakers. Great strip there, Gary.
Right, William Bennett stripped that ball, and this is that kind of play is what's put us number 2 in the country in turnover margin. We come right back, and we almost turned the ball over. We got a freshman, Lavelle Brown, in there. The ball gets knocked out of his hand. We got to get him going north and south.
Well, a guy who does go north and south for you is Darnell, and he'll get you out of that hole with a couple of good runs here.
Well, we have 2 good long runs, but it was 2nd and 35, I think, from this point. So I think we have 2 15-yard runs, but it's just not quite enough.
4th and still a long way to go. Punt formation here, and you'll get 1 block.
Well, this is a breakdown in our protection up front. And, doggone it, puts 7 points on the board for Purdue here. Takes away from the fact that we ended up being the nation's leading defense against the score, and we were hoping for a shutout in this game.
Matt Rice delivering that hit to Allstott, loses his helmet, and that's a 1-yard loss. And then here again, Trevsker throwing and an interception by Danny Sutter.
Great play by Danny. He sort of baited him into that, and so our defense comes up with a big stop again, and a tremendous game by our secondary and our entire defense.
And the celebration was on in West Lafayette. The final stats, Coach, 3 more takeaways by your defense, as well as those 2 sacks in the first half.
And we also had 369 yards total offense, and you know, Dwayne Bates had 6 big catches for 131 yards, and then Darnell put up 226 with 32 carries, and so we had some significant stats in that game. But I think holding Purdue to 128 yards on the ground, the leading rushing team in the Big Ten, just sort of puts a final piece of the puzzle together for our defense and the way they played this fall.
Well, the celebration of the Big Ten championship was on in West Lafayette, and Amy Stone has a report.
This week, Coach Gary Barnett and his assistants displayed their championship rings in the locker room, a symbol of what was to come for this year's squad, which capped off their Cinderella season, shutting down Purdue to capture their first Big Ten championship in 59 years.
We've just done something that nobody's done around here since 1936, and I've got an empty spot over there where it says 1990 question mark, and I'm going to go paint that in with a 5 now. And it means 10 wins. It means respectability. You know, it means playing a schedule that we played and to win the way we did. That we're a big-time football program, and we got big-time football players.
I'm from Madison, and when I came to Northwestern, everyone in Wisconsin, all the football players were showing off their Big Ten championship rings. Now I can't wait to go back there and show mine a little bit.
You know, this culminates everything that everybody that Coach Barnett recruited came to Northwestern for. We wanted a ring, Big Ten championships. Now we can, you know, print it up, here, put it in the books, and it's ours.
Johnson set a school record with his 44th straight start. Despite the absence of Big Ten tackle leader Pat Fitzgerald, the Wildcats defense handled a Purdue offense out of sync, beginning with Chris Martin's interception return for the first touchdown of the game.
He saw the out route. I just bit up on it, you know, stole it, and got a good block from Houday for his mail and was fortunate to take it to the end zone.
Martin added a safety at the beginning of the second half. The D also recorded back-to-back sacks and didn't allow highly touted fullback Mike Allstott to score a touchdown.
Just so impressive that we could come in here and stop that running attack, 10th best in the nation.
We were so motivated. I mean, I felt we could not be stopped, or they could not run on us. We were so geared up out there. It was just, we knew what we had to do, the position we had to be in, and so we just went there and made plays.
You know, I thought our defense was just dominant in the whole game, and defensive game plan, the way our guys played up front was beautiful.
A scare early in the second quarter when Donnell Autry went down, but he bounced back with a career day, 226 yards on 32 carries, for his 12th straight 100-yard rushing effort.
It was great. I had total complete faith in my linemen and defense, and everybody came out here to do their job, and that's what we did.
As expected, Ohio State slaughtered Indiana, so now these Cats become Michigan fans, albeit temporarily. If the Buckeyes lose to the Wolverines Saturday, that paves the way to Pasadena for Northwestern.
Big Ten ring, Big Ten hat, whatever else. We're just trying to get to the Rose Bowl now, so we need some state from Go Blue, baby.
We're all going to be home Thanksgiving room for Michigan. I think I might buy me a Michigan hat just for this weekend.
We'll be back to talk more about that Ohio State-Michigan matchup and what it means for the Wildcats. And we'll also take a look back at some of the great moments in a great Northwestern season. That's next on the Gary Barnett Show.
They've done it! The Northwestern Wildcats have upset the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Big time! It's all over!
Welcome back to the Gary Barnett Show. Well, the 1995 Northwestern season has been a wonderful season, a season which Northwestern, in fact all of Chicago, won't soon forget.
3rd and goal at the 7. Schnurr, short drop, throws to the end zone, left corner, touchdown! Dave Beasley. They've done it! The Northwestern Wildcats have upset the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Big time! It's all over! Here it is. The kick is up, and it is good. And Miami has won the football game on the final play of the game. Handoff to Darnell Autry, left side, big hole to the 45. Scudder step 40, down the sidelines, the 30, the 25, the 20, to the 10, and he's knocked out inside the 5 at the 4. Steve Schnurr hands it off to Darnell Autry up the middle, cuts to the right, across the 40, still on his feet, he's to the 30, angling left, the 25, the 20, he's to the 15, he's to the 5, he's in for the touchdown! Darnell Autry, 42 yards, and the Wildcats go back on top. Is he amazing or what? Schnurr takes the snap, play fake, he's going to throw man wide open, sliding catch, touchdown, Matt Hartle! Matt Hartle's first touchdown. Wildcats show blitz. Here comes Ishmaeli. Greasy back to throw. He's hit as he throws. It's intercepted. William Bennett intercepts at the 21-yard line. And the Wildcats are going to win the game. Schnurr gives to Autry. Right side cuts back left 30. 35, 40 in open field. The 45, the 50. There he goes. The 35, the 30 angling right. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Into the end zone. Yes, it is. Touchdown. Samuel gives to the running back. Tries to get to the outside. He's hit. Down he goes. That's the end of the football game. Shotgun formation. Snap to Scott Weaver. Has plenty of time. He's got room to run, and now he just flings it towards the end zone. It is intercepted by the Wildcats. Eric Collier intercepts it at the goal line. Richardson, the play fake. He's going to throw it by Fitzgerald, and down he goes. Back at the 42-yard line. 3rd sack of the year for Fitzgerald. Loss of 7 on the play, and it's 4th down for Penn State. Back to throw it is Matt Sherman. Pumps once, now he hits the tight end Price in the left flat. Fumble the football, picked up by Ishmaeli. The 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Hudayfa Ishmaeli! The throw is Schnurr, pumps once. He's got Bates cutting across the middle. He's to the 50, the 45, 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Dwayne Bates. Northwestern has won the Big Ten championship as they defeat the Purdue Boilermakers 23-8 to record 10 victories for the first time in the school's history.
Gary, some great moments there that your fans won't soon forget, but what moment do you remember most fondly?
I think there probably were several. Three really, I guess. The Michigan game gave us tremendous confidence. And then to come and play Wisconsin at our place, packed for the first time, that was significant for our players. And I think probably the Penn State game, the atmosphere around that was the epitome of college football and what this season was about for us and for our kids to play that well against that kind of team. I think those three really stand out.
Well, a lot of great moments for the Wildcats, and Still more to come, and we'll take a look ahead to the Michigan-Ohio State matchup coming up on the Gary Barnett Show.